little tutorial series about the observer mode in Overwatch. Today's topic is gonna be the different camera modes, and we're just gonna run them down shortly, and at the end of the video I'll give you a short list again and maybe make you remember what those modes exactly do. So without further ado, let's just jump straight in. I got a quick lobby set up here on lovely Hanamura, and the bots aren't doing anything because there are no enemies. However, we don't need that right now. Let's start off with first person. First person is pretty much exactly this, what you see at home when you play the game. And you do that by hitting any character's respective button, so F2 for Rodok, and staying there. You can swap that to over the shoulder though, and you do that by pressing T. That's the third person binding we bound in the first video. And if you press T again, it will just go back to the first person mode. Note that if you're in the third person mode and you scroll your mouse wheel, you will change the distance. However, the angle will always be the same for the character. It will always show where he's aiming at. Same goes on McCree. You can scroll in again, press T, and we're back in first person. Now, if you press G, obviously if you have the same bindings as me, you will go in free mode. And free mode, let's talk about the free camera mode. The movement is pretty simple. You have WASD, W for forward, S for backwards, A and D left and right. Then you have up and down, which is now at my mouse bound. I don't know what it's for you, but I would recommend again at the mouse. We're going up, we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. And what you have as well is fast and slow. So if I hold shift now, woo, I'll go fast. If I hold alt, I'll go slow. Note that those speeds can be adjusted. What do I mean by that? So if I just go fly straight out, that's normal speed now, and I start using my mouse wheel up or down, I will get faster if I use it up, and if I use it down, I will get slower. However, whoops, you can adjust those different speeds and they will stay like saved, as far as I know, for all the games you spectate. What do I mean by that? You can have the normal speed like this, and if you go in slow speed now, you can change the slow speed to what you want it to be with the mouse wheel up and down. Same for this fast speed, you can change it to what you want it to be. You're probably never going to use the fast speed, but and now the slow speed is always the same in every game as you set it. Obviously you can keep adjusting it with the mouse wheel, but just like that, you see slow speed, I'm going slow. I can even go up whilst that, go down whilst that. Funnily enough, by the way, you can also change the speed at how fast you go up and down, if I remember correctly. So you do just the same thing as you were doing with the speeds. Go up whilst mouse wheeling to adjust the speed, it just go up, and same for the down. So this is the free camera. You can use it anywhere. I recommend just toying around a bit in game once so you get a feel for it, especially if you have to do multiple things at once, like turning and going up and then going down again, and maybe going fast once or going even slower once as you go down. All these things take practice. Now let's move over to the objective cam, which in my case is F. Sadly I cannot show you this here because I forgot to turn on a skirmish or enemy players. However, objective cam basically is what the name says. It focuses on the current objective. In that case it would be point A in Hanamura. On a payload map it would be the payload. On King's Row first point it would be the first point. And that's pretty much excuse me, here it's just a static cam. Now, thank you for asking, what are static cameras? So for any of you who have maybe played, for example, StarCraft, there used to be camera hotspots. And that's exactly what it is also here. It's hotspots that you can bind that the camera is static at. I, for example, I think I have already toyed around a bit with it. I have 2 hotspots here. So that's one hotspot that I bound, and if I press 8 on my keyboard now, I'll go to the other one. which I bound over here. And those are just static camera hotspots. But once you're there, you can move your camera again. I just use the mouse right now, not movement, but I can still move if I want. How do you set such a hotspot? Well, it's pretty simple. You press the key binding for slow, in my case Alt, and the number of the static camera. So, for example, 9 will be my third one, and now it's bound, so I can press 7, go back to my first hotspot. I'm not touching my mouse or keyboard, by the way, after I press it. This movement is done by the game itself. And if I press 9 now, I should go to the third hotspot I use. This is extremely useful, in my opinion, because you can set up some spots beforehand that give a great view, like this, of an entrance where you expect a fight to happen, and then when that fight happens there, you can just press the binding and jump immediately there. And I think that's really important for a professional broadcast, that there is such stuff. Now let's jump to the last mode, which is the lockdown mode. You see me aiming at Soldier 76 now, and you have that gray square around him. If I use left click now, you will see it go rather brownish, and the camera immediately locked on him. What it does now, it just follows him. I can move the camera how I want, it will just always focus on the soldier. And if I press left click again, whoop, I'm free to go, and I can go on Lucia, for example. And I'll just always be on Lucia, and then go away, and I can go on Ana. It will always follow it. So it's really useful as well for certain circumstances. I don't think it has excuse me, that many options to be used at, but it's always cool in those niche situations where you can showcase that skill. Also, there's the last mode that I mentioned in the key binding settings yesterday, which is right click, which is a reticle mode, I think. So if I right click on Soldier now, it will just go straight up first person. And note, if I press right click again, it will be behind him. If I press it again, it will be on him. If I press T now, it will go back to the last camera. Always know, if you press T, it will go back to the last camera you had. If I press G, it will just go behind him. If I press right click now and then T again, it will go back. Oh, excuse me, now it's actually third person. I fucked that one up. So first person, third person. It was just weird coincidence. Just always where he's aiming at. Alright, so those are the camera modes that we have here in the observer mode. Let's refresh it again. We have the first person mode, accepted by pressing the number or button respectively for the character you play at, and maybe need to toggle the first person with T. Then we have the over the shoulder, except you also get there the same way like first person, just press T again. Then we have free cam, we can get with G after we are on that, flying around. We have the objective cam with F in my bindings, which I cannot showcase here sadly. We have the static camera hotspots, which I showed you, that can be used to great advance in cool fights areas. And last but not least, we have the locked on modes, which makes the camera always focus on that character. So yeah, anyways, those are the different camera modes. We'll keep it at this now, not gonna tell you yet how you should use those and so on. I hope you liked it so far, and if you do, make sure to check out the next video. Thank you guys, I'm out.